Taggart, and I am an amazingly well-done holograph beaming to you from the Queen Mary in the Atlantic right now. She and Burl and I think Corinne got on the ship today, and they are heading to New York on the Queen Mary 2. So it's a tough job, but somebody took it for the team, and they decided to do that. And Tiffany's not here. I'm here today, so you got me. I'm Scott. I'll be your guest, host for the next for the next hour or so. Please make sure to silence your phones if you didn't do so already. And we always start our service out by honoring the land on which we are located. The Eureka Center for Spiritual Living acknowledges that the land on which we gather is the ancestral territory of the Wiyot peoples. This territory extends to the communities throughout most of Humboldt County, and we honor the Wiyot peoples today. And next up, let's see here. Is this all going to be working today? Oops, I thought we have the acknowledgement of lands. Oh, then we do go to the sign. Okay, the song. Donna, there you are. You are doing to me what I was doing to Susan. My autoresponder says that I'm out of town, and Susan thought she was going to be the only one here. So I was like, where's Donna? I'm not singing.
Yes. Mr. Campbell. Thank you. And a chord once we get the beat. Thank you. It's just like we rehearsed it.
Don't count on it.
So I'm counting on that. Cough drop. Gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep moving on.
feel bad after that song. It is just impossible. And let's welcome everybody who's here. First of all, hi, Zoomers. Hi if you're a new person. Hi if you're an old person. We're just glad to have you here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to read the top part together. And I thought, try and think of something that gets people to know each other, gets the energy up even higher. So on the second half, just walk up to somebody who you normally don't have a conversation with and just say, hi, I'm glad to have you here. And we'll do that for a couple of minutes, and then please pay attention, or the service will last till 11:30, and then we'll bring you back to your seats. So together we say, we are a welcoming community where the vibration of love lifts us, the wisdom of the ages inspires us, and the science of mind teaching empowers us. And find somebody you don't normally say hi to, get up and go say hi to them. I'm going to get out. Yeah, it's my favorite song we've done here. So, all righty. Let us move forward and take a look at this schedule.
You said 11:30.
What? 11:30. We'll be out of here on time now that everyone's back to their seats. Our schedule for this week, there's a lot of stuff that isn't happening. We'll go into that in detail, but there are some things that are taking place. You can see them on the screen. Please make sure to memorize them and tell them to strangers you meet in the grocery store today. We need to get more people here. The next up, we have got our guest, Brave Vulnerable Conversations is on hiatus. We are not so brave, but we will still be vulnerable. Actually, we just don't have the logistics to have anybody here this week. So we will be back to it on May 8th, and we encourage you to be there. It is a wonderful chance to just share how you feel, to talk to other people, and to realize that despite how you might feel sometimes, you are not taking crazy pills. It's nice to be around a bunch of other people.
Or if you are taking.
Well, if you are taking crazy pills, you are still welcome, and you'll lead the discussion. Yes. What? Yes, that is what we are doing. Crazy pills will be administered as you leave today. Let's see, what have we got? Next week we have another guest speaker. We are going to be treated today by Lorna, and next week we will be treated yet again by Reverend Lynn Fritz, who has spoken here several times. You will enjoy her, as you will enjoy Lorna, who will come up in just a short while. The men's group will be this coming Saturday, 6 days from now. That is a group open for those of us who identify as men, and we just share and talk and get in some great conversations, and it's nice to feel supported. No newsletters for April 28th or for May because Angelica is on the ship and she's not going to write newsletters. See how she is? However, when she comes back, and I noticed because Anna, last week when we had this slide, it didn't have the date because you called out and said, what date is it? So I redid the slide. So there is a new class starting. It is accredited, which means should you wish to go down the avenue of becoming a practitioner, this class will count toward it. It is called Infinite You is the Universe. It is a look at this thing called you, and as Tiffany has stated, it's a delightful small book that really sums up the science of mind philosophy in just little bite-sized nuggets. It's a nice, easy read. So if you get a little confused or you just like to be around other people who share the philosophy, this is where you must come. It starts on the 14th, $150 and a $45 fee to get the certificate. And there is a sign-up. There is not a sign-up sheet today because there will be a sign-up sheet. That will be on the table to the side. Okay, Twice Nice is coming. And we need volunteers. It is, if you are not familiar with Twice Nice, it is the biggest event that the center does. It is our biggest fundraiser. It can bring in as much as $10,000. This entire place gets transformed into everything you could possibly want. at a reduced price, from clothing to furniture, you name it. But we need volunteers to put it all out there because it doesn't just materialize. Treating for that as much as we would like, it still ain't happening. So we need people to help. You get to be around a lot of other people. You get to do nice customer service when people show up because everybody's very excited. There are people who wait for this every year, and they will be in line when we open. But we need volunteers, and a sign-up sheet is being put on the table over there. A reminder of practitioners are available. Well, there aren't many today, are there? If you would like to talk to somebody afterwards, you need some support, like to know about the philosophy, just want to share, have somebody listen. Both Susan and I are here today. Please feel free to approach us. Also, we don't talk about it very often, but the little box that's sitting in front of what somebody calls the throne, which is really just the high watch, and it says pray. There's little drawers in there. And if you ever want to leave a note, like you would like the practitioners and Angelica, who's technically also a practitioner, to treat for you, just put a note in the little box that says pray, and we will treat for you. We do that with regularity. And SOAR. SOAR is coming up. Is it SOAR or ZOR? SOAR. It's an S. SOAR? Like ow? Yeah. Okay.
Soar like sky.
So, yes, I know it means soar like that, but it's pronounced soar like ow. Anyway, SOAR is taking place in Canada in Banff, and that will be in August. It is the Center for Spiritual Living Mothership Convention, and everybody is welcome, providing, of course, you can get up there and pay for it. But there is a sign-up sheet, or you can go to that link and you can sign up. Our little pantry needs to be fed. Please, as always, bring non-perishable foods. They go into the other room, and then I saw Lori putting some out this morning. If you want to bring a whole lot, and Walk in Awe is here on Mondays, and you can bring a bunch, and she'll divide it up into smaller segments and put it out there. And I think that's it for the announcements. Last time for this theme. Our theme for the month is Step by Step. We're going to go into a song. It's like, we're down to stems and seeds and staffing here. It's just me. So I will then come back and do the moment of peace, and then Lorna will give us our message. Okay, so what do we want to do? Who's leading the song? It will be Donna, of course.
Somebody. We are not short of staff. We have everybody that we need here right now.
We have tall staff. Yeah.
I'm not part of the tall staff, but that's okay. Be still, in quiet and in peace. We know the joy and wonder of release. In this sacred place, all troubles disappear. In this secret place, there is no doubt or fear. Be still and know that faith has made us whole. Renewed are we in spirit and in soul. The light of truth within shines forth that we may see. Perfect peace is ours eternally.
Thank you again. I'm going to do a moment of peace, also known as the contemplative meditation. A little story behind this one. One of my, you know, you have like a comfort show you like to watch just to help you feel better. I'm sure everybody does. One of my comfort shows is on Max. Used to be called HBO. It's David Byrne's American Utopia. If you haven't seen it, I heartily recommend it. And I watched it last night, and it inspired me, as it always does. It gives me a lot of joy. And then I wrote this, and with some quotations, as you'll hear, and then I kind of asked Nova, my name for ChatGPT, to give me some more ideas. And so I would like to read to you something. It's called We Are the Answer. and then Jackson will play some music for us after we meditate for a little bit, and then I will close us off with a treatment, the religious science term for a affirmative prayer. When I look at the world today, with all its changes, its turbulence, even its seeming cruelty, I wonder what's going on. It doesn't lend itself to what I was taught as a child and still believe. Treat others well, be honest with kindness and compassion, work hard, and try to keep joy in the forefront, and everything will be okay. It's easy to ask, where's the hope? Where is the healing? Where is the peace we know is possible? And when I take the time to let that go for a moment, the universe answers. Look within. It's not about finding what we need out there, but instead to look inside. We are not here by accident. We are not powerless witnesses to a world in chaos. We are the living, breathing expressions of divine intelligence unfolding itself through our very lives. Every kindness we extend, every time we choose understanding over judgment, every time we stop to truly see the divine in another's face, we become the answer to what we are searching for. Every time we refuse to close our hearts, even when it would be easier, we turn possibility into reality. Ernest Holmes speaks to this beautifully. He writes, there's a place in you which, like the acorn, knows how to grow. Within you is the unborn possibility of limitless experience. Yours is the privilege of giving birth to it. We must listen so intently to the truth that we are impelled to obey it, and no matter what negations exist, we must affirm the good. There is a power within you that is greater than anything you shall ever contact, a power that can overcome every obstacle in your life and set you safe, satisfied, and at peace, healed and prosperous in a new light and a new life. That's not just a beautiful concept, it is a truth that we are invited to live right now. It's sometimes hard to believe, but the times we are living through are indeed sacred opportunities. They are opportunities to deepen our compassion when fear tempts us to harden. They are opportunities to extend grace when judgment would be easier. They are opportunities to stand rooted in truth, even when everything around us shouts for panic. Spirit is not somewhere else working from a distance. Spirit is here now, working through our hands, our voices, our breath, our dreams. We are not waiting for a better world to arrive. We are not waiting for the right conditions or the perfect leader or a sign from the heavens. We are the better world arriving. We are the hands and feet of Spirit in motion. We are, as they say, the answer we have been waiting for. Ralph Waldo Emerson, one of the great voices of spiritual truth, reminds us, what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. The world will always have its noise, its uncertainty, its change, but what lies within us, the spirit, the light, the life, is unchanging, unstoppable, and eternal. And it is from that place within that we carve new paths forward. Paths not based on fear, but rooted in faith. Every decision we make is a choice between faith and fear. And what can make our philosophy so difficult at times is we have to have that faith in ourselves, as we are the expression of Spirit, not some outside being or entity. So today, let's remember, when we speak a word of truth into confusion, when we act from love instead of reaction, when we risk believing in beauty and wholeness, even when it's hard to see, we are not just shifting our own lives, we are shifting the very fabric of reality itself. Thomas Troward, the great metaphysician, reminds us, principle is not bound by precedent. We are not limited today by what happened yesterday, nor are we limited tomorrow by what happens today. It is the nature of the creative process to be ever producing new forms, new combinations, and new conditions. Therefore, the potentiality of life is unlimited and inexhaustible, meaning we are not limited by what has been. We are not defined by old patterns, old fears, or old failures. The Spirit within us is forever new, forever unfolding, forever creating through the channel of our lives. That means This very second is new with unlimited possibilities. Didn't take advantage of that second? Here's another, and another, and another. Each is an opportunity to appreciate where we are and to grow. And as Holmes also reminds us, the world in which we live is the result of an infinite intelligence, a divine mind, a conscious reality which permeates all time and all space. The power is within us, and we can consciously use it. And taking it back to the way I started it, from David Byrne and his song, "Everybody's Coming to My House." We are only tourists in this life. We are only tourists, but the view is nice. So today, let's use it. Let's be it. Let's move forward as the light we already are. Let's stand as the love we already carry. Let's rise as the hope we were born to bring into the world. The world has been waiting for us, and now we are ready.
When I walked in the room, I sensed the presence, and I knew this was a place where love abounds. For this is the temple the God of love abides here. We are standing in the presence on holy ground.
I'm grateful for understanding that there is only one energy, one place, one being, that holy ground is wherever I happen to be, wherever we happen to be. There is no spot where it is not. And knowing that everything around us is holy and everything around us is divine, including us, I am grateful for the power that resides within me to handle how I feel, to change the world around me, and to feel better about those conditions that I think are not as they're supposed to be. Understanding that in reality, all is unfolding for the greatest good. And when I can center myself and realize that the reality is within me and is not the world out there, and that I can change that person who is in me, and I can be happy as I choose, and filled with joy as I choose, and I can be the example that others want to be, I feel more empowered, I feel better, and I know that the divine is working through me. I release these words into the universal law of mind, knowing that they have always been happening, and I just periodically forget to realize it. And accepting that they are going on right now, I am incredibly grateful. And I close this with, and so it is. Thank you, Jackson.
We are standing on holy ground, and I know that there are
Perfect choice of songs. Thank you. Next up, I said, do you have an introduction? She said, just say it's me. So it's Lorna.
Could you arrange for a cup of water?
Oh, sure.
Okay, looks like this is at a good level for me. You hearing me okay? Great. All right, and the other thing I need is my glasses. And you may find me reading a little more than I might normally. For those of you who were here last week, you know that I had a fall and bumped my head, and so I'm sometimes a little, memory is still coming back, shall we say. So the topic for today, oh yes, and good morning. So the topic for this morning is overcoming obstacles, a path to faith and well-being. And am I going to read this better without? I am going to read it better without my glasses. Yay. Good. Thank you.
Oops. Extra spillage.
Yes. All right. So how often do we think of overcoming obstacles as a pathway to our faith and to our well-being? I don't know about you, but I almost never do. You know, an obstacle comes up, faith, well-being, somewhere over there, right? Usually this perspective is the furthest thing from our minds. Too often obstacles are seen as stumbling blocks, which trip us up and bring us down. We want to step over them, or embarrassed, and I've certainly been there myself, we pick up ourselves and dust ourselves off and just go on without even acknowledging that we have stumbled. Or we simply ignore the obstacle without examining what it is, why it is there, or most importantly, what we might do so that it doesn't crop up again. Yet, how might it be to see an obstacle as an opportunity? A place to test our knowledge and our faith, to know that we can overcome even the most challenging of obstacles, to discover that there is a higher power at work within us to help us on the way, that we are not alone, that we are not alone in God's presence, and we are not alone in the presence of our holy others. In Angelica's message a couple of weeks ago, she spoke of consistency, compassion, and courage. Courage to change from obstacle to love, to change from obstacles to realizing a possibility. I could talk about the well-known leaders who overcame huge obstacles with great courage and vision in their lives. People like Nelson Mandela, who overcame 27 years of imprisonment to become his nation's leader. Or Malala Yousafzai, who was shot by the Taliban for advocating for girls' education and has gone on to become a world leader in standing for girls' education. Or Rosa Parks, whose simple action of sitting in a bus seat sparked the civil rights movement. But today I want to talk about another person. Her name is Teata Fisher. She's a traditional native storyteller. Teata was born near Tishomingo in Oklahoma Territory before it became a state in 1895. Her parents were tribal members of the Chickasaw Nation, and before statehood, the Chickasaw Nation was its own nation within that territory. At a time when every effort was being made to erase the cultures, languages, and even the native peoples themselves from the Americas, and at significant risk to herself, Teata took on a vision of telling the stories of her people. She did not want the rich oral history of her people to be lost. At the loss of the Chickasaw Nation's self-governance, Teata said, "To live is to change," and that is what happened in 1906. We faced maybe our biggest challenge. They were breaking up our government to one of their own, the state of California. Early on, Teata kind of went with that change. She was educated by the then schools that were run, most of them were run by various Christian organizations. The real purpose of those schools was to teach English history and or American history, and to systematically dismantle the way of thinking, the languages, and even the personage of the children who were attending those schools. Her choice was not to go that way. Eventually, she did go that way for a while, but eventually she took on a vision of telling the stories of her people. She did not want the oral history of her people to be lost. At the loss, I'm repeating myself, here we go. Early on, Teata went with that change. She traveled extensively in the United States, observing Native ceremonies and learning different traditions. Teata incorporated these experiences into her storytelling. The readings, storytelling, and dance were accompanied by small drums, rattles, flutes, and other native instruments. Teata's influence, and you can see this beautiful woman here, on the appreciation of native traditions and on the art of storytelling is an enduring legacy. Her name, Teata, means bearer of the morning. What a light. She preserved and promoted American Indian stories and protection of native cultures at a time when much would have been lost, but for her courage and the courage of others like her. And there's this funny, wonderful thing that happens sometimes when the practitioners and the speaker haven't coordinated on their quotes from Ernest Holmes. So I really love the one that Scott used today, and here it is again, because it has impact, well, it certainly does on me. Our spiritual mentor, Ernest Holmes, says this: "We have within us a power that is greater than anything we shall ever contact in the outer, a power that can overcome every obstacle in our life and set us safe, satisfied, and at peace, healed and prosperous, in a new light and in a new life." It's clear that Teata was such a power, such a light, and we can take the slide down. So then how do we tap into this power within ourselves to help us when problems occur? Some obstacles slap us in the face. There's just no escaping them. Others only become evident that there's a problem over some period of time. One step toward overcoming an obstacle is to take a compassionate look and really see it. Kind of dig down, delve in, take a good hard look, or maybe a good soft look, at what this obstacle is that needs to be overcome. In my coaching tradition, when I'm faced with such an obstacle, or when I'm working with my clients to address obstacles that they are dealing with, we encourage our clients and ourselves to look, to see, to tell the truth, and to take authentic action. And let's take a look at how this might work. When I was 21, I was faced with a very, very significant obstacle. My health was very poor. I had been in an abusive marriage for almost 4.5 years. And I had so gradually slipped down into despair that I didn't even realize the depth of what was going on. It wasn't until I got so sick that I almost died that some of my friends, my family, and ultimately a counselor and a mentor stepped in and said, "Whoa, wait a minute, you're only 21, girl. You need some help here." And so they helped me first to look and see what was wrong, what was going on that was leading me to be like this. Because I had not, when I was growing up, I had not been like this. I was a cheerful, actually a bouncy child. And so they helped me to look and see, what really is going on here. And at the time, I absolutely did not believe in divorce. And so it was very hard for me even to think about or consider that as a possibility. But the people around me had me look and see that indeed that was going to need to be a possibility for me. So that's the looking part. They had me look and see. We gain clarity by looking to see exactly what the problem is. We gain strength to address the problem by telling the truth about it. I had been unwilling to face that truth, and it wasn't until people supported me in actually seeing the depth of my despair and the depth of the problem that I was able to begin taking a step to overcome it. So looking and seeing and telling the truth about exactly what the problem is. Then we gain strength, we gain strength to address a problem by telling the truth about it. And we can say, what can I learn from this obstacle? What is this obstacle? It doesn't have to be something like I was going through by any means. It could be that your car breaks down and you got to fix it. But what is it that you need to overcome the obstacle? And also, what can you learn from the obstacle? Well, I learned a lot from that one, I can tell you. I learned absolutely what I did not want in my life. And blessings, the people around me had me remember who I had been as a child and helped me to see the things that I did want in my life. Also, that they supported me in going through a divorce and getting out of that situation. Thank goodness. And a part of that journey was they brought me back to faith. I had, when I was 17, my minister refused to marry my then husband and I because I was pregnant, and it was not okay with that church for a girl to be pregnant. And so therefore, no, you can't get married because you're pregnant. Well, that was the first obstacle, and then marrying who I married was a big one. Losing my health was a big one. But all of that I was able to learn. And when that minister refused to marry us, I started losing my faith. And for years then, didn't have hold on a faith that could make me whole. In allowing the people to support me that came into my life, the mentors, the counselor, and especially my parents, they not only let me see who I was, led me to see who I was and what I needed to do to overcome, but they also put their faith in my path so that I could lean on them until I could grow my own faith again. And I count that as one of the deepest and greatest blessings of my life, to have been brought back to my faith. So it was an obstacle that ultimately, in telling the truth, in looking and seeing and telling the truth, allowed me to begin to come back to who I am and what my faith could be. The final part of this four-part process, look, see, tell the truth, is take authentic action. In that case, the authentic action was to get out of the marriage. That was one part of it. Another part of it was to allow myself to be supported by others, and also ultimately beginning to be supported by my own prayer, my own faith, to know that I had made a good decision, to know that it was right and good that I did what I did, which was to get the divorce. Through all of that, then, I regained my health, ultimately ended up in, well, the current marriage that I have, which will be 31 years this year, and what a blessing. But notice this, I did not do all of this alone. I had help from others to realize there was a problem, to see it, to define it, and to discover the actions that would authentically change my situation. And that was both the other people around me and the regrowth of my faith in a higher power. From Ernest Holmes' 365 Science of Mind, he says, "In back of me is the potential of the universe. I declare new horizons will open for me, new ideas will flow to me, and a better world of joy and peace will be revealed." So I had a huge obstacle in front of me. More than likely, we being humans, you've got something that's a stumbling block of your own. And I encourage you to look and see who are the people that can support you. What is there in your belief or your faith that can support you? And if you're stumbling at all in your own, Scott talked about the practitioners today being Susan and Scott, who are here to support you. But our practitioners and our minister are always available to take us by the hand and help us see what we do not see, to take the steps that we might not have taken if we hadn't had some support to do so. So for heaven's sakes, obstacles, don't do it alone. So with that, let us go into treatment, and that's our form of prayer. Knowing that Spirit is all there is, present in and as and throughout everything that exists, I rest in this knowing. I am the beloved. I am beloved in spirit. All is well. I am well in every sense of the word, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. There is no place where Spirit is not. Spirit thrives in me, as me, and guides my every thought and deed. Knowing this, there is no obstacle that can bring me down. Peace is my guiding light. Faith is my guiding light. In this awareness, I know that any obstacles I encounter are resolved with Spirit as my guide. Spirit beloved shows me the way. I am resourceful. I am supported in my well-being. I am filled to overflowing with peace and strength and knowing that all is well. In every circumstance that needs resolution, I radiate this strength of knowing. I am the joy and love, calmness and strength of peace and resolution. Knowing this, I am filled with gratitude and thanksgiving, and so it is. Wonderful. And we have Jackson's music. What a blessing.
Okay. I offer this from Glenn Campbell, who wrote words and music. Let me be a little kinder, let me be a little blinder to the faults of those about me. Let me praise a little more. Let me be, when I am weary, just a little bit more cheery. Think a little more of others and a little less of me. Let me be a little braver when temptation bids me waver. Let me strive a little harder to be all that I can be. Let me be a little meeker with the brother that is weaker. Let me think more of my neighbor and a little less of me. Let me be, when I am weary, just a little bit more cheery. Let me serve a little better those that I'm striving for. Let me be a little meeker with the brother that is weaker. Think a little more of others and a little less of me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackson. Is Marin okay? Do we know? What was that? She'll be okay? Okay. Okay. And Marin is Lorna's sister, so Lorna is taking care of her. We will hold Marin in light and healing for a moment, knowing that she's fine and she's doing well and she is in good hands. Okay. So it is. Thank you, Jackson, wherever you are. Sorry for the distraction. Obviously, that was unplanned. Let's move forward right now, since Marin is being taken care of, with the sharing of our gifts. We have the plates that will go around. Please put in it what you can. Always put in some love to go with it, even if you can't put in money. But today we say our affirmation: I gratefully give from the fullness of my abundance, knowing my gift blesses this center, all in it and beyond, and so it is. accept these gifts knowing that this is just one more form of energy and love, and it will go out into the community, help our center, help the city, help the state, help the world, knowing that these are our wishes for the way the world will work and is working. And for that, we are grateful and we say, and so it is. Okay, put this down here. Let's see here, what do we have left? We're going to need somebody to read the statement of inclusion. But before we do that, I'm going to change the order just a little bit. And if anybody has a demonstration that they would like, a demonstration is you think about it, you believe it, you feel it, you wait for it, and it shows up. And is there anybody who would like to share a demonstration? Thank you, Donna.
Several months ago, Brian and I have a pretty large yard. We have fruit trees, etc. And several months ago, some of you were there, Susan for sure, we went to the Humboldt Rose Society's How to Trim Your Roses kind of thing. It was brutal. They took C3 canes, and whatever wasn't the happy one went bye-bye. It was like, I was horrified because I've been kind of snipping and for 20 years on my roses. So at this class, these are master gardeners. I learned that that is making that plant very happy. It's going to stimulate growth, and it's going to do all these wonderful things. And while we trimmed with the master gardeners, Brian and I, and others, probably 30 people, 20 people there, I apologized to the plant as I was snipping and went home, and my 20-year-old roses were like this, and some of them are wild. One is a Lady Washington, which is a brilliant red and a wonderful smelly, and she was all over the front of my kitchen. I just said a little prayer and took my snippers out, and those bushes became sticks. Yes, thank you, Gail. That's exactly what I did. I went, well, this last couple of weeks, I have sticks about that high with little bushies on it, about like that, and about 12 little bitty buds, and I'm just Twitter-pated. Went, oh my God, it's true. Those master people, it was true. And my two roses, one is a sterling silver bush, which if you don't tend them, they'll go way crazy and be all lanky and hanging over. She's perky. She's waiting for her little buds. And I am so excited. So thank you, Humboldt Rose Society. And Susan was very encouraging being there. I think, Shelley, were you there? Okay. We have some master gardeners among us here too. That is my demonstration. I am so grateful that nature knows best. Thank you.
We are all waiting for our little buds. Every single one of us, that's what we do. Okay, do I have somebody who is willing to read the community statement of inclusion, who would like to? Kathy, please come forward. Your first hand up. You get to race up here. She's racing. She's racing for me. Slow racing.
Slow racing.
There we go.
Okay, here we go. We'll turn it appropriately here. Okay. We, the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living, are a community that celebrates diversity, fosters inclusion, champions inner work, and creates space for brave, vulnerable conversations. We are a community that honors the unique emanation of God that each person embodies and and advocates with people for human rights and dignity for all. We are a community that blesses each other, sees sacredness in all life, remains learners and listeners so we may grow together, and understands that oneness is not sameness. And together we say, we know our beloved community is revealed more fully when we love each other well.
Thank you. Please stand and join a circle. If you're feeling a little stretched, we can go around one section of chairs, either this side or the other.
Oh, we'll make it around the whole place.
Make it around the whole place then. All right, stretch it out, people. We can do this.
Sorry, take it there.
Who's driving? All right, that's looking perfect. Here we go.